I grew up in the middle of nowhere, North Dakota. Do you know how many black people live in North Dakota? Because I don't. I have to treat this whole camera experience like I'm talking in the mirror. Recording stuff and being on the camera kind of like, I feel like it's weird. Oh my god, I'm recording and I'm gonna post this online and shut up. Shut up. I'm just recording because when I talk to myself in the mirror, which I do and have done for most of my life from what I can remember, I've talked to myself to work through things and to give myself confidence and to compliment myself and also beat myself up and tell myself nasty things and be really mean to myself, but also catch myself in the act and then try to stop that and whatever. I had a thought actually recently that like I was born in the mirror. I said that out loud. I don't know if I said that out loud in front of someone else, which is probably really embarrassing and stupid to say to someone else. That I was born in the mirror, but I really do feel that. I feel like the person that I am and the persona that I've created, the drag that I've put on for the world, you know, because RuPaul, you know RuPaul.
Well, listen, you're born naked and the rest is drag. Everybody is
right.
Everybody is playing a role. Everyone. You know, when you get out of the shower, you put on your drag, right?
I feel like that drag that I've put on started at such a young age and it happened in the mirror. I've had to be my own best friend for so long. I think everyone should be their own best friend. If Ariana's telling us you have to do it, yes, and have other friends, because if you don't, then you'll feel really lonely and go crazy. But I've come back to this over and over again that like if I'm not my best friend, if I'm not treating myself the best, if I'm not talking to myself with kindness, if I'm not speaking to myself with patience and grace and gratitude for how far I've come, how far I've gotten myself, then what the fuck? Where am I gonna end up? Depressed as fuck, like I've been for the last, I don't know. The depressive state that I've been in recently is probably the longest that I've had as of late. I don't know how long it's been. Time feels irrelevant. Time feels like it just passes. In a general sense, time is really wacky and I need to kind of resort myself and like what my relationship with time is and how I value time, but also how I waste a lot of time. But anywho, back to the mirror thing. That's what this is. I mean, essentially, that's exactly what it is. It's like my diary. Sometimes I'm too lazy to write. But for it to be authentic and for me to like really speak my truth, you know? Michael Jackson said, "The man in the mirror." I don't even know how the song goes. Man in the mirror. Let's see what he says. Let's listen to this.
Gonna make a change for once in my life.
Wow. Okay, let's take a minute to realize MJ was so right. He was. The thing is, I've been saying this to myself recently without like intentionally speaking on Michael Jackson. I knew it wasn't like an original thought. I feel like I really don't have any original thoughts at this point with the internet and everything. Do other people feel that? I don't know. Don't care. But I've been talking about, I was like, if I want to improve the world around me, I can't think about the world, the actual globe, the 8 billion people, because that's crazy. The reason why I want to record myself on top of the selfish reason of trying to capture my thoughts and my ideas and the pledges I'm making to myself. Another reason is to see if it could possibly help other people, like the raw conversations that I have with myself. I'm talking to myself here, but like, if someone else sees this, then you're joining in on the conversation. I'm talking to you too. I feel like a lot of the times I struggle with my ability to be like real and like authentically me. And a lot of times I'm kind of fake, but not in like a rude way, but in a way that in a people pleaser way. I'm not speaking my truths or speaking exactly how I'm feeling, because one, I'm confused about how I feel because I struggle with putting my emotions to words and putting my feelings to words. It's just like a feeling and like I can't really speak on it. And then sometimes I get wrapped up in the thought like if I can't put the words to it, then I think there's no importance to it. I just kind of get in this state of, oh, everything's fine, I'm all good, like no worries, like I'm here for you, and like I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions, and I want to take on your traumas and feelings, and let me talk through that because that makes more sense. And that proves to bring a lot of challenges. Because when all those feelings are just in me, flowing around, wherever they're flowing around, and if they don't have words to them, if they're emotions or whatever, and they're just jumbling around, and they're not being spoken out, it causes a lot of problem for me. They start to weigh me down, and they start to make me feel really crazy. If you can imagine like 100 basketballs, just like each basketball is an emotion or a feeling that I'm having that I can't put words to, or like I don't make the time to do it, whatever, and they're just like all like bouncing around in like the sphere of my skull. And that's just really difficult. I want to be better at that, and I want to be realer with people because life's fucking hard, okay? And I'm not gonna make it harder for myself if at all possible. It starts with being real with myself. That's what listening to this song is like, if I wanna be real with others, if I wanna help other people, I have to help myself. I have to look in the mirror and be like, hey, what things are you struggling with? What things are you having a hard time doing? What's happening? Let's be so real, because something I've done really recently, and probably have done for longer than I can even know, is blame a lot of my problems on other people. Because other people can cause problems, but the root of the problems, it's not other people. Other people can bother me, which again, I think is something that I wasn't being real about with myself. Being a people pleaser is crazy boots. It's crazy boots, let me tell you. If you can relate, let me know. If there wasn't good in it, it wouldn't happen. Like if you didn't feel some sense of good in being a people pleaser, I don't think you would do it. I mean, and maybe in some situations, but I can only speak to mine, obviously. That's another thing that I do. I over-explain all the time. And it's so annoying. I over-explain myself to myself and especially to others, and like try to pad things because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's like the thing about being a people pleaser. I don't want anyone to not like me. I don't want anyone to have an opinion of me that doesn't align with my opinion of myself. And it's like, I'm at the point where I can't do that. It's not sustainable to be a people pleaser all the time. Can I be there for others? Can I be kind to others, even in moments when it's difficult? You know, be a shoulder to cry on, even if it's for someone who maybe doesn't really deserve it, but just needs it. Yes, I can do that. But I think in that, I have to remember that like I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of Atati. I have to. Before I can take care of anybody else, no matter what, in every situation, I have to check in with myself at the very least. I have to check in and know where I'm at. I have to, because I see myself, I get other people to get real with me, but like I feel like sometimes I'm not fully real with others, and like I'm trying to improve that. I don't know, the fakeness that I feel, that I like give off to people, I'm not doing it out of malicious intent to be like, oh, I've got personal gain and I've got to please this person so that I can get ahead in the world and I can get this money, or I can do. No, it's not that. It's really a defense mechanism so that I can feel comfortable and I can feel safe. Because I grew up in North Dakota, like in the middle of nowhere, North Dakota. Do you know how many black people live in North Dakota? Because I don't. But I can tell you it's not very many. I have spent so long trying to fit in.
It's okay. I'm just like you guys. No.
Literally, the school that I went to was, 400 people? Kindergarten through 12th grade. It was less than 500 people for sure. I want to say it was less than 400, honestly. Meaning my class size was 20 people. 20 people in the entire class. That is so small, and don't get me wrong. The small town culture has a lot of beauty in it. It does. It really does. I don't care what whatever says. I do spend a lot of times trying to look on the bright side, because that again is a survival mechanism. It's my weapon to fight through life, is kindness and looking on the bright side and being positive. Am I being naive? Is my kindness and positivity a sign of, is it naivety? Am I a naive person? naturally, yeah, I'm only 25. I feel like everyone's naive in some way. I'm definitely less naive than I was when I was starting college at 17, 18. So I don't know. What I'm trying to say basically is I want to shed a bit of my skin, kind of like a snake, and be a little bit reborn. It's something I've been thinking about. I haven't been very focused on because I do think I have ADHD, and I think that stops me from a lot of things, and I want to talk to my doctor about that. I'm like at this point at 25, it's like such a transitional period where like I'm really feeling that I'm entering adulthood, and like that's scary. Part of me is like, I don't even know how to say it. It's like my physical body is entering adulthood, and if people looked at me, they would see an adult, you know, and have expectations of that. And I have my own expectations of how I should be, how I should act, how I should talk, how I should blah, 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 blah as an adult. And I don't feel like I'm meeting those expectations of others and of myself. And like the world's pressure, society's pressure to be like where you should be at 25. Who the fuck is to say where you should be at? You know, I can say that out loud, but those pressures, they run deep, and like to undo that and release myself from feeling the pressure of like where I should be at 25 is difficult. It's very challenging. What I was like trying to say, it feels like my body feels like it's entering adulthood. My mind and my soul don't really, as much as I would like it to feel. What is adulthood? What marks adulthood? Society says like a certain age range, you're an adult. After 18, you're an adult. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Adulthood is what you make of it, and I feel that disconnect from my body feeling adult and my mind and soul not feeling as adult or not ready to be entering this adult world. There's this friction. It's like a friction in my mind where it's like people around me are seeing an adult and expecting so much and seeing this and thinking that I should be at some sort of made up, mysterious level of all these different things. I should be able to talk in this way. I should be able to communicate here at this level. I should be able to work this much. I should be able to make this much money. I should be able to be this far into my career. I should be able to save this much money, and I should know this much about investments, and I should know how to buy my next car, and I should be saving this, and I should know everything about my 401k, and I should, these are like the basketball going boom, 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 boom. I can't catch all the basketballs. I can't do all the things at once, and that makes me feel less than. That makes me feel unaccomplished, sad. Nothing is working for me. I am just like purposeless and directionless, incapable of doing anything. It's really crazy. I don't know how to connect all of the things, like my mind, body, and soul, and to have everybody working in unison in a beautiful way, to be like, I'm an adult and this is how I attack adulthood. I think it is really, you know, making it my way of doing things, not someone else's. Other advice is great. I love people's advice. Most times when you're getting offered advice, people are trying their best to offer what they know to help you. That's what advice is, with your best interest in mind, hopefully. Not all the time, but hopefully. But at the end of the day, only I know what's best for me. Only you know what's best for you, because only you have lived in your shoes and have lived every day up until today and making the choices every single day that keep you alive. And hopefully not only keep you alive for today, but for as much time as possible, which we don't even know how much time is possible. That's the thing. I've really been struggling with just listening to other people, and it not working, me taking advice and then being like, that doesn't sound like it's gonna work. Why would I'm not gonna try that. I've gotta build my own self-trust. It's essential. I have to be able to trust myself. Part of trusting myself is checking in with myself every single day, multiple times a day, probably, to be like, how am I doing? How am I feeling? Where's my mind at? Where's my body at? Where's my soul at? I really think there's work to be done with all of it, because I think there's times where I push my body to points where it's like my body is telling me, can you stop? I was playing volleyball last weekend and my arm hurt so bad, but I kept playing. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I was like, whatever, I gotta keep playing. And there's different moments like that where like I just keep pushing my body to points that it does not want to go. And like, yeah, to some extent that can be great, because like physical activity is awesome. It feels really good to move my body and push it to its limits in some ways. But when there's pain, it's not always no pain, no gain. If I had to rank it 1 to 3, 1 being most in tuned, 3 being least in tuned with. I would say 1 would be my body, 2 would be my mind, and 3 would be my soul. Ooh, my soul, I don't know. It just feels like when I, like, even talking about that feels like, what? What's my soul? Like, what is that? What's the feeling of like knowing what your soul is saying? I think that's attached to instinct, right? When like my instincts kick in and I'm like, okay, this just makes sense. I can't explain why this makes sense, but it just makes sense and I'm gonna do it and see what happens. I'm just gonna trust my gut. I feel like that's my soul at work. Sometimes it gets so confusing because I'm an impulsive person. Oh, I need this, like my instincts are telling me to do this, but it's like, no, you're just crazy and impulsive. Especially when it comes to buying things. I don't think my soul gives a fuck about buying things. More on that later. I just think that like I over intellectualize things. And even my horoscope recently said something about keeping watch of like over intellectualizing my experiences. And like sometimes I try to make too much sense of things, putting too much thought into things, and overthinking it's a self-defense mechanism, right? Because like if I think every possible scenario and I think about what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna say it and when I'm gonna say it and who I'm gonna say it to and blah, 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 then I'll be safe and it'll work out and it'll be good. And then like over explaining will just make it more sense. I think it's a way of protecting myself because like growing up, I really had to overthink like a lot of who I am, what I am, when I am, who I am, where I am, who I am, you know, like it was very weird. Like I really did low key have a bit of like the Hannah Montana double life moment when I was younger because I didn't tell nobody I was gay. Oh my God, news alert, I'm gay. Growing up in North Dakota, girl, I'm already being ostracized for what I look like on the outside. Y'all think I'm gonna fucking let you in on what I feel on the inside? Hell no. Y'all are gonna make me feel crazy. Ain't nobody gonna relate to that. And even if they do, I'm not gonna be protected. There's too many people that would not keep me protected, you know? And that's scary. That's part of my healing process is like speaking on my past in a real way and being really real about it and the things that really hurt and made me feel a lot of pain and made me feel shut down and shrunk and small and unimportant and irrelevant and all the words. I think I still carry a lot of that with me. Everyone is unique. Everyone is their own person. Everyone has their own struggles, their own background story, their own traumas, their own egos, their own thoughts and motives and ideas and feelings and emotions and on and on and on. But I think there's a lot of assumptions. I just assume a lot of fucking things about people, that people are gonna act in the right way, people are gonna be ethical about things, people are gonna do the right thing. That's how I was raised. One positive thing from my experience in small town North Dakota is the small town value of like doing the right thing. Even when it's hard, do the right thing. Even when you don't want to, do the right thing. I can only feel at peace. I can only feel light and right if I'm doing the right thing. That doesn't mean I'm always doing the right thing. Oh, hell no. Hell no. But I do try. Like that's something that is really imprinted in my head. It's really just like sending out good vibes so that good vibes come to me. The golden rule, you know, treating other people how I want to be treated. I thought everybody thought that. I thought we were all just doing that. I thought everyone was kind of told to do the right thing. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I can't control anybody but myself. I feel like I haven't been doing a very good job of controlling myself lately. If I'm gonna give myself that grace and patience, I have to do it. I have to talk it out. I have to be real with myself. I have to watch this video back, see what needs to be improved, see what's real, see what adds up, what doesn't add up, and go from there. Deep down, deep in, I think it's my soul that speaks to wanting to help others, wanting to be there for others, want to be a guiding light for others, wanting to improve the spaces that I'm in. I think it's a gift. I think it's a gift. I really do think. I think everyone's gifted, but I don't care to speak to, that's me patting things but I don't want to be overly confident sometimes and speak on things, or just not even overly, just I don't want to be confident about certain things, about like big things like that. Like when I say like I have a gift and like saying that confidently and sharing that with other people, because then that puts I worry too much about the ideas that plants in other people's head. That like, oh, Atati thinks he has a gift, so he thinks he's special. He thinks he's better than me. And so I'm gonna start treating him like this. And then I worry about where those conversations lead and how people's opinions of me, impacts this. How about we don't do that? How about I don't do that? Because at the end of the day, I know where I'm coming from. I know that when I speak on the fact that I think I have a gift, it is not to put anybody else down. It is not to tell anybody else that they don't have gifts, that they don't have the ability to do the same thing that I'm doing. But that's why I really think there's not a lot of famous people that come out of the Midwest, because it is very much a culture to just be humble. Be humble and kind, and that's it. Don't brag too much, don't do this. That culture of like not being braggy or boastful or confident or blah 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 in your abilities was ingrained in the sports that I played and the way that our coaches talked to us. I remember the same dude who like ingrained that do the right thing mindset was the same person who said, oh, we don't keep track of stats because nobody's better than anybody else. Statistics are like a thing of life in the sense that like keeping track of what you're doing and how you're doing it and the improvements that you're making and the fallbacks that you have really is attached to your confidence, your ability to be better. Oh my God, my camera's gonna die. I just keep talking. I talk so much. I've been talking for an hour and I've barely done any dishes. This is the dishes that I've gotten done. And this is the dishes I'm still, oh. So I guess we can pick this up later, but basically all of what I'm trying to say is that I think the Atati that has gotten me to 25 has really done so much for me. And the person that I think that I am and that I have been has gotten me here. I have to appreciate that. But like, it's almost like a book. I want to like close a book and start a new chapter and be like, I am this person. Like, I'm in adulthood now. I'm acting in these ways. I'm aligning myself in these ways. And I think sometimes I get too caught up in that past, like that past book and like reading chapters and looking at it like, well, that wasn't fair. Like, why is that happening? And oh, I shouldn't have been treated like that. That shouldn't have been said to me. That shouldn't have happened. Blah, 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 blah. And like, that affects me now. And like I just get caught up in this loop of like, what the fuck happened in the past and being so confused about it. Huge book. But let's maybe close it down a little bit and open up a new one and say, this is where I'm at now. These are the resources I have. This is the mindset that I have. And I'm going to move forward in this way and shed my skin and become something new. I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for a renaissance. I'm ready for all these things and if I don't do that, it's only going to hold me back because I can feel that dragging me down. It's like cinder blocks on my feet and I'm in the ocean and I'm like, ooh, like that's what it feels like when I'm holding on to the past so much. Like I have to cut those ties and move on and shed the skin and become better.